We are live.
Hello, my friends. We are live. Scarlett, say hello. This is my
So
daughter.
nice to meet you all.
This is my daughter, Scarlett. I promised her that if she would, I gave her a wrench and she would
I'm a
get.
moderator.
Yeah, you're a moderator now. Big days.
I'm
Big
the
days.
one always talking about Chipotle in the chat. If you guys are, you guys recognize me?
Right. Scarlett is very important now because she's a moderator, and she said, "Mom, if I get you up to 40 likes before the stream starts, will you let me say hello to your people?" So there she is. And now she's gonna go moderate. Oh, John says hi, Scarlett. John's in the chat.
Oh, hey, John.
Hey, John. My first live that I did, I remember Duty Ron was so kind and he redirected his entire audience to me. And I said, I'm so nervous because I think it's just going to be 5 people in the chat, all my kids and my mom. Well, that would make 6. So all my kids and my mom, maybe my sister, so maybe 7. And he he directed his entire audience to me, and I had over 200 people, and I was so excited. And that's where it all began, all the way back at the end of June of 2023. How is everybody tonight? This is a crazy story, and it really piques my interest because right away the NYPD is saying no criminality. And when I show you what I've dug up, I think you might agree with me that they're saying that a little too quickly. Hi, Peter and Rochella. So how funny is that? I don't know, Aunt Di or Mylene, if you are watching tonight, my aunt and my cousin, but my aunt said to my mom, she said, Peter Pranzo seems to be a fan of your mom's, or he's in a moderator and he's in the chat all the time. And it turns out that Peter Pranzo was, I don't know what position it was, but when my uncle was with the NYPD, he was on Peter Pranzo's team, right? I mean, how crazy is that? Talk about a small world. And we never knew. And it just turns out that Peter Pranzo and Rochella Pranzo, his wife, happen to be moderators for my channel. And it's a really small world, right? Oh, here's Oblivious Benson. So Oblivious Benson, who I was talking to earlier today for an hour and a half about some other matters and some other things that she is working on that we plan on doing a stream on this week that have to do with the many Long Island SKs that have been in the area throughout the years, which is going to be very, very interesting. She's texting me 5 minutes before the show and telling me about all of these other women that were found in trash compactors in New York City. And I said, honey, you got to send me this a little sooner than 5 minutes before the show. Everybody buy Scarlett a burrito. She was in here one night begging for Chipotle money for dinner, and people contributed $10 for her dinner, and she was very excited. So, you know, it's a hard knock life, apparently, for the 5 of my kids. And, you know, mommy's on YouTube trying to get them Chipotle. Just a joke. But, you know, that's the way they see it, I guess. Got to do what you got to do, people. You got to do what you got to do. So, it does, Tina. It does, teeny tiny Tina. This seems too sus for no foul play. Yes. Yes, it does. And, you know, New York City is so amazing during the holidays. It's so beautiful. It's been very warm lately, too. So despite the fact that there's a lot of tourists here, they do close off the streets, and you can walk up and down Fifth Avenue, and you can see the windows all decorated for Christmas at Saks Fifth Avenue, and you can walk right down or into St. Patrick's Cathedral, and you can see the windows at Macy's, and all the windows are so beautiful on all the stores. And it's very, very warm now, and it's a great time of year to be in New York City. It's so festive. There's ice skating at Bryant Park. There's a Christmas village. There's ice skating at Central Park, and there's all kinds of Christmas shops set up in Central Park. And it's also the time when there are a lot of office holiday parties. So the office holiday parties are in full swing. Yeah, RB, apparently this is not the first time, and it brings me back to another case from 2018 that we're going to talk about also. Yeah, Janelle, listen, it's weird. So, Jaclyn Elmquist was a 24-year-old girl. She's a graduate of Skidmore College, worked in New York City, lived in Crown Heights, Brooklyn. She's a Minnesota native. She goes to a work party on Thursday night, this past Thursday, which was November 30th. I'm lucky if I know what day it is today. Oh, for posterity, I didn't say the date. Thank you so much for coming to spend part of your Sunday, December 3rd with me, everyone. I appreciate you so much for coming and spending your time with me. And I see my hair's almost okay. She lived in Brooklyn in Crown Heights. She was a recruiter. According to her LinkedIn profile, she was for, the beginning of her career, it looks like she graduated from Skidmore College in 2022, which is up in Saratoga Springs, I believe. Before she started her job at Mission Staffing that she just started in November of this year, she was a legal recruiter at a company called Nadine Bocelli and Company in New York City. And she had had that job since about August of 2022. And then in November 2023 is when she joined Mission Staffing. And apparently she was at a work dinner at Catch Steakhouse in New York City, which is on 9th Avenue. If anybody knows where that is, it's a beautiful restaurant that, in fact, my mom took me to for my birthday last year. And it's a lovely restaurant. They have a lovely roof deck. It's high end. It's great. The food is great. Highly recommend. Right next to the Restoration Hardware building, which also has a gorgeous, gorgeous rooftop that you can eat out at. Hello, Patroness Glow. Hello, Ed, Scott, Christy. I appreciate you too. Everybody's saying hello. This is a very, very friendly chat that we have here. So if you're new here and joining for the first time, feel free to chime in, say hello. We have a very friendly chat. My moderators are the best on YouTube, and I'm not afraid to say it. They know they are. They do not let the bullies in. They don't let any trash talk. I don't like the cursey words. I don't like the foul language. It's not my style. We like to keep it classy. So my moderators are Jason Smith. Hello, Mystery. Hello, Patroness Glow. And BB2, Fraudit Wrangler. Thank you, Fraudit Wrangler. You're new here. Love your content. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you were able to catch a live. My live schedule is a mystery. So it's just sort of whenever I feel like it or whenever I have time and I'm not driving my kids around. And, I try to give a little bit of notice, like at least 2 hours before I'm going to go live. But something like this really, really caught my attention because when I mentioned this to one of my twins yesterday or this morning, I said, I'm doing this crazy story about this girl who's been missing. And she said, oh, I've been following this on Twitter. And I told her what happened. And she was devastated. Like everyone's been looking for Jaclyn or Jackie Elmquist. And this is a very sad ending to this story. So Jaclyn Elmquist went out with her co-workers. I'm not sure if it was a Christmas party at Catch, New York City on Thursday night. And she never returned back home to her home in Crown Heights, Brooklyn. On Friday, her cousin tweeted this. And they put missing posters up around the last place that she was seen. Missing person, Jacqueline Rose Elmquist. Description, 24 years old, 5'3", 120 pounds, green eyes and light brown hair. Last seen wearing a black dress and a black coat. Has visible tattoos on her arms and legs. She was last seen getting into a yellow cab at Catch Steakhouse in Manhattan. We believe her phone is still in the area of Manhattan. And then there was a phone number that I redacted. It says, if you have any information, please call Jackie's sister, Madeline Elmquist, at this number. Any information is hugely appreciated. So that tweet went out on Friday because she never returned home to Brooklyn. Everyone was looking for Jackie. And then her cousin tweeted some additional information. Also on Twitter. I know they call it X now, but I just cannot get on board with X. So I'm calling it Twitter. Here is what her cousin shared next. It says additional information. Her phone location was here, but it's dead now, and we think it just got dropped. And this is a location of 184 11th Avenue between 23rd and 24th Street. And this information says that this is the bar that she was at, a place called the Canuck, which is a block or two away from Catch Steakhouse. And it says, this is the bar she was at. Her coworkers put her in a yellow cab, which may have dropped her off just a few blocks away. This was the only information they had, the family. They are devastated. They live in Minnesota. I believe that her sister is an attorney. And the family was devastated. By Friday at 2:40 p.m., a porter at a building known as Plus Art at 540 West 28th Street between 10th and 11th Avenues, a porter found a body in the basement of the building stuffed into the trash compactor. Right. Sharon, I had the same question. It says her coworkers put her in a cab, so she was incoherent. We don't know. We don't know. But there's some surveillance video that we're going to see of her walking down the street. So by 2:40 p.m. on Friday, there was a story on ABC News in New York, and I hope they don't copyright strike me for this, but I'm going to play the video anyway because I think it's interesting. I like to get the local news. From Josh Einiger. Let me know that you can hear.
Tonight, Chelsea, a woman found dead in the basement of an apartment building. Eyewitness News reporter Josh Einiger with the details.
Police spent hours tonight at this luxury apartment building in Chelsea trying to get to the bottom of this gruesome and frankly baffling discovery earlier this afternoon. It happened here at an apartment building on 28th, just off 11th in Chelsea, when a building employee dealing with the trash compactor earlier this afternoon found the
Okay, I'm going to stop it here because I don't know what this is showing. I don't know if this is the trash compactor. I don't know if this is the door to the trash compactor. I would like everyone in New York City who lives in a building with a trash compactor to chime in on this, because the trash compactors that I know, when you go to put your garbage into the chute in the hallway, typically it's a very small door and it's high up, and it's not just a door that you would mistake for a regular door to, let's say, a restroom or something. This looks like it's on wheels. This looks like it's some sort of luggage cart. And I don't know if this has anything to do with the trash compactor, but I just found it interesting in the middle of this story.
remains of a young woman at the bottom of the trash chute. Police, as I said, spent hours here. They determined the woman does not or did not live in this building and somehow fell down the trash chute to her death. That said, they do not suspect any criminality here, but the investigation continues into how she got into the building in the first place. Residents say it isn't that easy.
Definitely wouldn't expect that at all. I mean, we have great security in the building. Our doors are always locked. We have lots of cameras. It's just really upsetting, honestly, to hear that that happened.
It's now up to the medical examiner's office to determine exactly how this woman died. But again, police say they do not believe that she was the victim of any sort of foul play. But who she is, how she wound up in this building where she did not live, tonight, still not clear.
So I find it very strange that this was before they had identified her. So they didn't know who she was when this story ran. They just found a woman in a trash compactor. And because her family and friends had put up flyers, missing flyers near the restaurant where she went missing, cops finally put two and two together and figured out that it was Jackie. And I just find it bizarre. The building itself, which is known as the Plus Art Building on, let's pull this up for you, says that it has a 24-hour doorman. That's how they advertise it. Many buildings, high-end buildings in New York City, do have 24-hour doormen. If you want to be safe, usually you would pick a building with a 24-hour doorman, and or it's very difficult to get into a building without some sort of code or without another resident letting you in or buzzing you in. You usually have to buzz up to your friend and they'll buzz you in. But this building is advertised on Street Easy as having a full-time doorman and a gym and a live-in super. This is a building where they have 90 units. It's 13 stories, built in 2009. There are 2 apartments in contract for over $1 million for a 13 square foot. All right, let's see, 11C, which is, I think, 13,000 square feet. It's 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, is on the market for $2.4 million. There's a 1 bedroom, 1 bath on the market for $1.275 million. There's another one. This is a studio, 400 square foot studio that is in contract for $699,000. The description of this building says, plus art found within one of the world's largest art gallery districts is one of Chelsea's finest condominiums. It offers every modern amenity and is surrounded by parks, art, and the vibrancy of Manhattan's most sought-after neighborhoods. The Plus Art building, featuring studio to 3-bedroom homes, is located on West 28th Street between 10th and 11th Avenues. West Chelsea is home to the world-renowned High Line Park, spanning neighborhoods from the West Village to Hudson Yards, museums, as well as over 100 galleries, including the Yossi Milo Gallery and Gagosian. Also found within the celebrated district are casual and fine dining choices, coffee shops and cafes, pet care and dog runs, and every modern convenience imaginable. The equally desirable Flatiron District can be found to your east and Hudson Yards to your north. To your west, you'll find the Hudson River Park, a continuous greenway spanning 6 highly sought downtown neighborhoods, running parallel with the serene Hudson River. Amenities include a state-of-the-art fitness center, a roof deck with showers, lounge chairs and cabanas, and a beautifully planted courtyard. The building employs a full-time door attendant and a live-in superintendent. Here are here's a listing that I found on Zillow, because you know we love to look at Zillow on this channel. I'm addicted to Zillow. This is a This is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath in the building. It's 1,380 square feet, and it is listed at $2.48 million, my friends. This is what you can get in New York City for 1,400 square feet for almost $5 million. It's a lovely building, nice views. She did not live there. She lived in Crown Heights, Brooklyn. Lovely, right? There's the floor plan. And if you live outside of New York City, this seems like a very small place to buy for $2.5 million. But that's just what it is. What I find interesting, I don't know, Skoda, that is a good question. Did they get in touch with the cab driver? I don't know. They put her in a yellow cab. Oh, wait, hold on. Papa Smurf. Oh, gee, how are you, Papa Smurf? I haven't seen you in so long in here. You've been in that building. The people are really nice there, but no place is always safe. Nope. OB, my very own Penelope Garcia says, it says 24-hour doorman with his own number at the front. They seem very secure. It's weird. It is weird. Yep. Hello, kitten. Yeah, not sus at all. New York City Urbanista, were there no cameras in the building? Well, let's get to that, because we're going to see some surveillance footage. They do have some surveillance footage of her walking down the street. So when it was determined that it was Jaclyn, there was a story. This is from NBC News, when they did finally identify her on Saturday. Oh, I hate when they do that. They Well,
Good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Rana Novini, and police have identified that woman as a 24-year-old from Brooklyn. Jaclyn Elmquist. Police identify a missing 24-year-old as the woman found dead inside of a trash chute. New questions tonight about how a night out took a deadly turn. Good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Rana Novini, and police have identified that woman as a 24-year-old from Brooklyn. Jaclyn Elmquist was last seen getting into a cab in Chelsea after leaving a holiday party. And then later that night, she was seen on this surveillance video, walking, at times stumbling down a sidewalk before entering an apartment building. Her cousin posted this missing persons flyer on social media, alerting the public about her disappearance. And today, police confirmed that the missing woman is the same person found at the bottom of a garbage chute inside of a building's trash compactor room. And now many are questioning how she ended up there. News 4's Jessica Cunnington live in Chelsea with the details tonight. Jessica?
yes.
Yeah, how, why? There are just so many dots to be connected here, and detectives at the 10th Precinct are trying to do just that tonight at this hour. The NYPD says they don't expect any criminality here, but they are, of course, investigating this while we learn a
How does a woman wind up in a garbage chute, in a garbage compactor, in a building that she could not have gotten into without some sort of criminality? Why, Scott, Peter, can you chime in on this for me? How are they saying already there's no criminality? Are they trying to calm the public down that in a beautiful, allegedly safe area of Manhattan there are no killers, or like what?
little bit more about that young woman who was found dead here yesterday. 24-year-old Jacqueline Elmquist, first missing after getting into a cab Thursday night, now identified by police as the woman who was found dead Friday at the bottom of a trash compactor chute in this Chelsea apartment building, a building she does not live in, leaving her family, detectives, and people on this block with many questions.
The doorman should have checked like the cameras. I don't know, but the fact that she died inside the building, like it's super weird and alone. Like I don't know what should have happened.
Elmquist's cousin, posting on social media that she left a work party in Manhattan Thursday, was last seen getting into a yellow cab near Catch Steakhouse in Manhattan, but didn't make it home to Brooklyn or show up for work Friday morning. News 4 obtained this surveillance video showing Elmquist stumbling down West 28th Street Thursday around 11:45 p.m. The next afternoon, a porter in this condo building found her.
It's just nauseating. Honestly, I feel so bad that they found this body and this happened to them.
According to her LinkedIn page, Elmquist just started a job as a recruiting operations specialist at Mission Staffing. Her family lives in Minnesota. Here in New York, she lived in Crown Heights. How did one night out turn deadly?
Obviously, it can happen like everywhere, but the fact that they don't know what happened to her and that she has died in that way, it's horrible.
Tonight, the investigation continues and the medical examiner will determine her cause of death. Live in Chelsea tonight, I'm Jessica Cunnington, News 4 New York.
So that seems to be the consensus, is that maybe either law enforcement doesn't want the person that they already have in their sights to know that they are onto them. Maybe they're saying they think there's no criminality involved as a public way to keep the killer, if there is a killer, keep them off their track, to calm the public. Look at how far she fall, figure out that, and you'll know what floor she was on. I don't know. Route Tracker says someone in the building brought her in. What does that say? Disagree? Hello, Allie Brooks. Hello. Miku, good luck on your stats exam. You can watch this later. You can watch this on the replay. Just school is most important. D says no criminality, huh? Yeah. I don't know. Let's take a look at the map, because this is interesting too. We love maps. Okay. Oh, what happened? Just went. All right. Let's take a look at the route that she took. Here is Catch Steakhouse at the bottom of the screen. Here is the bar, the Canuck, which her cousin says that she was last seen at. So there's a little bit of discrepancy about whether she got the cab when she was at Catch Steakhouse, which is down here around what would be 9th Avenue and around, what is this cross street right here? 13th Street. If she went with her friends to the bar, it's only a couple of blocks uptown. Here's Canuck. Here's the Canuck right here. 22nd and 9th. It's about 9 blocks, not a far walk at all. It's been very warm lately, so I think Thursday night it was, I don't recall what the weather was, but I think it was pretty warm. If you see the surveillance footage, she doesn't have a purse, and her cousin said that her phone was found somewhere in this area over here. Now, allegedly, she takes this cab. I don't know where she took the cab to, but here's the building where she was found. So in all, it's a 1.1 mile walk from the original location of Catch Steakhouse to the building where she was found. Now, why didn't she go home to Crown Heights? Why did she go in the opposite direction? In order for her to get to Crown Heights, the cab would have had to been going the opposite direction. So it doesn't seem like she was going home. Did she know somebody in the building? Was she going to meet somebody in the area? Why did she get out of the cab over here instead of just going back to Crown Heights? Crown Heights is about 9 miles from the steakhouse, or 9 miles from the building where she was found. She looked drunk as she walked. They're saying that they think she was impaired. Did she leave her purse and her coat and her phone somewhere? Was she roofied? I'd like to see the toxicology. Yes, catering when she's far from Crown Heights. Real far. I'm just so curious about why they would indicate that there's no criminality involved. Right away, immediately. Did she fall? Was she crushed? I have so many questions. And I'm sure her family has a lot of questions too. 24 years old. As you know, I have 5 kids. 2 of my kids are over 24. 3 of my kids are under 24. This is a very, very frightening thing to have happen when your daughter graduates college from Skidmore. It's a great school. She's got a bright future ahead of her. She's a beautiful girl. And she comes to New York City and she's going out to the office holiday party. And now she's dead, found in a trash chute. And they're calling it an accident with no criminality involved. This show is always about the victim. So I just want to show you another picture of Jaclyn, if I can find it. And this is Jaclyn Elmquist. And as always, our thoughts go out to her family. Our thoughts and prayers go out to her family, her friends, everyone who knew her. And this is a devastating case. And I hate to report on these kinds of cases, but if you see something, say something. If anyone has any information or was in the area on Thursday night, it seems that that video that we saw, the surveillance footage, was around 11:45 p.m. Again, the address of that building is 540 West 28th Street between 10th and 11th Avenue in New York City. before 11:45 p.m., it is known that Jaclyn was at Catch Steakhouse in New York City, which is down on 9th Avenue in the Meatpacking District. And she may or may not have gone to a bar that was maybe 9 blocks away called Canuck. This eerily reminds me of another case. There was another case, and there are a lot of these trash compactor cases. Shockingly, Oblivious Benson will tell you she Googled this, and there was one 5 months ago in Harlem. I don't know. Let's see. What are your thoughts, McRamble? I wonder if she either met someone that lived there and offered to help, or she went into the building to ask for help, to use the phone, etc., and the doorman or another employee did something. I don't know. Was she looking for a restroom? How did she get into a building that's supposed to be securely locked, according to 2 of the tenants that we saw give interviews, and the doorman that's supposed to be on duty 24/7? New York City Urbanista, they should definitely interview every resident of the building. She almost had to have been with someone to have gotten past the doorman and in the elevator had to have access to the chute. Right. Where is the access to the chute as related to the front door of the building or the entrance to the building? Is there a garbage chute right in the lobby? I doubt it. Maybe. But it seems like it would not be right inside the front door. Clarabella also goes out as a warning. Always take care of your friends, especially when they could be incapacitated. She could have been drugged. Yeah, but like, look, I can't blame the friends at all. You know, you think you're putting your friend in a cab after a party. She's a little tipsy. It's the holidays. They put her in a cab. Like, what were they supposed to do? They were supposed to take her all the way home. I don't know. I don't think we can blame the friends at all. Thank you, Christy, for your super sticker. I really appreciate you so much. Scott, who is retired law enforcement and also one of my amazing mods, says, from my experience, most apartment buildings in New York City have interior cameras in the lobby and elevators. Yeah. So hopefully they're reviewing that footage. But why do they say, I mean, maybe there's video of her jumping into the garbage chute. And so therefore they can say definitively that there's no criminality. I mean, if she was roofied, there's criminality there, right? Kirsten Strobel video looks like she's impaired. Yep. Oblivious. Oh no, she looks drunk. No purse either. Seriously, Anne-Marie, how did her coworkers not take her home if she was so intoxicated they had to put her in a cab? I don't think we can blame anybody except for whoever did this. And I don't think there was no criminality involved. That's my opinion. Hello, kitten. She had her whole damn life in front of her. Heartbreaking. It is heartbreaking. Peter, also retired law enforcement and one of my amazing moderators. Agree, guys, sounds suspicious, although NYPD rarely jumps the gun till all facts, evidence, and witnesses are questioned or a suspect is being hunted. But wouldn't they say, though, this is still under investigation? The investigation is ongoing? Instead of straight up coming out and saying, we don't believe there's any criminality involved. I read that in 3 different papers. That's why I'm so curious, you know, like, wouldn't they say the investigation's ongoing? No comment. Anne-Marie, my daughter's 21. I've never been more happy that she's a bookworm who'd rather play settlers than go out to bars. So sorry for this beautiful girl's family. I am too. So sorry. They flew in from Minnesota. They're being inundated, of course, by everyone who wants an interview of these grieving parents who don't have any information. Leith, petite females are often targeted. They have to be extra careful. Yeah. Beth Hammer, maybe there's a tape of her crawling in the trash chute. Yeah, that's the only thing that I could think of that would make them say that there's no criminality involved. Carla says they need to investigate the background of the building residents too soon to draw conclusions. Susan, beautiful smile, beautiful girl. So sorry for her family. I know. Anna, Dr. Anna, I'm thinking I was lucky to survive my 20s. The work is getting more and more dangerous. The city, the work. I mean, New York City, I don't even know what to say about New York City anymore. You know, I hadn't been there for about 2 years. I used to go there 4 times a week for auditions, and everything shut down. The whole city shut down. And during that time period, the city's a really different place now. A lot of areas do not seem safe. And I don't really enjoy going there as much as I used to. And I grew up a city kid. I mean, I was always in the city. I loved going to the city. Loved going to the parades. Loved going to museums. Loved going to Broadway shows. And now it's almost, I don't really want to go there anymore. I don't know how you guys feel. If you live around here, if you feel the same way about going into the city, but it's not like it used to be. Anne Vroom, I completely agree regarding staying together and looking out for each other, but things happen. Maybe she slipped out of the bar party without anyone noticing right away, especially if a large crowd. Yeah, I agree. The Irish exit. I mean, who doesn't do that every now and again? But it was reported that her friends did put her in the cab. So that's what makes me so curious. Miku, you're supposed to be studying for that exam. That's not an option all the time. This is the most nightmare situation because her friends did what they should have done, and this still happened, right? It wasn't like she just said, bye, guys, I'm going to walk home. You know, they didn't even let her take the subway. They put her in a cab. She could have taken the subway all the way to Brooklyn. If that video footage was taken at 11:45 p.m., it's not like it was 3 in the morning, you know, where you wouldn't want a friend going into the subway. So I don't know. Lee, the condo association is not going to give up that video unless forced to do so. Well, I'm pretty sure the cops are in there. Well, law enforcement's in there looking at it. Route trackers, did the friends give her the cab the address and then she changed it? Maybe. Charisma, how big is the chute? I want to know the same thing. Sophia Roman, how does an impaired person find a garbage chute to jump into? I think that's a great point. Camper for Life 22, keep us posted on this evolving case. Oh, absolutely. This one really intrigues me. And right, KK, she just started her job with this company, so her colleagues couldn't have known her very well. Carla Barrick, tell your friends and our party group while everyone is sober that no one can leave alone or can get in a cab alone. Too much can happen. Remember the North Carolina case where a woman was killed by an Uber driver? Yeah. So, you know, a lot of people aren't using Uber anymore in New York City. Yellow cabs seem to be very easy to flag down lately. It's not like it used to be where it was really hard to find a cab. They're everywhere now, maybe because Uber has exploded in popularity. But at least, I mean, I hate to say this, but at least if you're in an Uber, there's a record of it somewhere. There's a record of who picked you up, where they picked you up, and where they dropped you off. Oh, so positive. Maybe she realized she forgot her purse and the cabbie kicked her out. That's a good point. That is a good point. That's good. All my armchair detectives are working on this case. Maybe we can find somebody who knows something. Cheryl, unfortunately, the chute is wide enough for someone to fit in. Okay. Cynthia, that's what I thought too. Cynthia goes, could be somebody drugged or drink. Jason says those chutes are around 3 feet by 3 feet. Amber's like, Melanie, I'm late. Can you start over? Oh, you can rewatch after it's over. Yeah, this is a very curious case. Very curious case. Christy says, my friends will visit and I have to tell them we can't go to certain areas. Not safe anymore. And so sad. Yep. Skoda, people in Manhattan aren't going to take a ride all the way to Brooklyn because someone is drunk. They're just not. It's true. It's true. Do you remember, did anybody ever watch Sex in the City? Do you remember when Miranda moved to Brooklyn? Nobody would go visit her. It's almost like if you live, this is a funny example, but like my friends in LA drive 2 blocks to a friend's house. Like nobody walks anywhere, I feel like. And if you live literally 9 miles away, they'll just be like, no, it's too far. I can't come visit you. That's the same thing with Manhattan and Brooklyn. Allie says, Manhattan, I'm from Melanie, I'm from Queens, and I don't go to Manhattan unless it's with my family, and that's either for dinner where my brother-in-law works or go see a play, but I won't go alone. Kim, I do not think so. Has the cab driver been located or interviewed? I don't think so. Maggie May, I don't get Uber. Some rando picks you up. I don't let my kids take Uber either. Tina, maybe she threw up and they kicked her out. Lady Prudence, she's 24 from Minnesota. She doesn't know New York. kind of certain way. How were the other ladies found? Have any of them been traced on video? How many and when did they start? Objection, compound question. I know we got to get Oblivious Benson on this. Killing Me Softly. Thank you for your super chat. This reminds me of the Kenneka Jenkins case. Here's what it reminded me of. Scarlett said to me, it reminded me of the girl who was found in the water tower in Los Angeles, the Cedric Hotel. Does anybody remember that in 2013? There was a girl, her name was Elisa Lam, L-A-M. I think there was a documentary done on this. In 2013, she was found at the Cedric Hotel. They had a water tower on the roof, and it was ruled an accidental drowning. That was quite bizarre. There was also another garbage chute case that this reminded me of immediately. And this was in 2018. There was a very wealthy woman. Her name was Lara. I'm going to butcher her last name, but it's Prychodko, Prychodko. She was a wealthy Manhattan woman. She died after she was, I'm going to say pushed, but she plunged down the building's trash chute in 2018. And her estranged husband and she were in a bitter custody battle, I believe. They were estranged. She was 48 years old. It was ruled an accident, and the divorce was pending. The father of Lara claims that he swears that the husband hired someone to unalive her because he was about to lose half of his $6 million fortune when the divorce was finalized. She was found dead on July 10th of 2018 in the basement garbage room of her luxury Union Square building. Less than a month after she celebrated her birthday in Paris with some family and friends. Same thing happened. The cops at the time said she was last seen alive on surveillance video in which she appeared to be drunk and stumbling about. Maintenance worker discovered her body crushed from multiple angles in the compactor, police have said. And that same year, the city's medical examiner ruled Lara's death an accident. But the family is convinced that it was not an accident, and they've filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the estranged husband, and they claim that he hired a hitman to do away with her. But still, to this day, it is ruled an accident. Does anybody remember that case? Anne says, most New York City apartment building trash chutes on each floor look like bank deposit boxes. There's sort of a door you have to open up to throw stuff in. It's not just a big open hole, right? And it's not low to the ground, right? It's kind of higher up. You'd have to kind of climb up into it. It's not something that you could crawl into. Betty says, no, I just can't believe this death is an accident. I'm not buying it either. Do we know who the medical examiner was? No, I do not know. If you want to Google that up, Amber, you can be the armchair detective. I'm looking at an article from the New York Post back in 2018. They do not mention who the medical examiner that did her autopsy was, but the family hired Dr. Michael Baden. And he says that Lara was strangled to death. You may recall that Michael Baden also did the independent autopsy on Shannon Gilbert, who we believe was a victim of Lisk, the Long Island serial killer, but her death has also been ruled an accident so far. Michael Baden was also the medical examiner of Suffolk County, New York, many years ago, I believe, when some of the Gilgo victims were found, going all the way back to 1996. Created by EJF. Could she have been trying to find somewhere to hide? I don't know. It says, look, no one's going down a trash chute accidentally. They don't like anything. They're small. They smell. It's not happening. I agree. I think this is so crazy. Hello Kitten believes Dr. Baden. Hi, D. Thank you. My building, you have to push the button and turn the lever at the same time. If you don't close it, it locks all the other floor chutes out. That's interesting. Ed Cheryl agrees with you. Yes, Allie Books. Michael Baden has been around a very long time. He did testify in the OJ case. He's testified in a lot of criminal cases as an expert witness. So I guess after he left Suffolk County, he became an expert witness, and I'm sure he makes lots of money that way. A lot of people think that his opinion isn't really that great because they think that he seems to say whatever he's hired to say, but I still respect his opinion based on his experience. Been around a very, very, very long time. McRamelon says, yeah, Kanika Jenkins got lost in a hotel and they filmed each minute of her walking about half a mile through banquet hallways into the kitchen. That open freezer was so dark and so disoriented she couldn't find the knob to exit. Oh, she was found in a freezer? I'm not familiar with that case. Scott says, yeah, Ali, he did. And that's one reason I'm not a fan, that he was an expert in the OJ case. New York City Urbanista. Oh, well, since your screen name seems to say it all, we want to hear from you. The doors tend to be heavy, too. Very unlikely in her state she would have been able to have climbed in. I'm leading toward a resident or building employee being involved. Yeah, the doors are heavy, huh? Chris Metz, weird they could say no foul play, but don't even know how she got there in or how she died. Cover up. Cover up, or the police are just saying that so because they're onto the suspect and they don't want him to get skittish and run away. I don't know. It's just very, very odd to me. Why wouldn't they just say the investigation is ongoing? We have not completed our investigation and we currently don't know what the circumstances are, and we are not going to rule this an accident yet. But it seems like they've already done that. Joanne Pulio, too many unknown information. It will come out. Yep, Mystique, odd to you too. Anne says, only accidental scenario I can think is she went to throw something away, but then dropped something in. She wanted back and leaned into the chute door, but chutes are designed to avoid that kind of fall. Well, how'd she get into the building? Number one, it's not her building. Does she have a friend that lives in the building? Was she going to meet a boyfriend or someone who lived there? When we saw her walking down the street, it didn't look like she had a purse or a phone with her. In fact, it said in that tweet that we saw from her cousin that her phone had last pinged and it seemed like it was dropped. It wasn't in the building. So she didn't have anything. It doesn't even look like she has anything that she could have dropped into a garbage chute. Created by EJF, has met Dr. Baden. Look at that. Dr. Baden has written some great books. I met him once at a book talk and signing years ago. She asked who would allow a person to get this way and then not see them safely home. She was with coworkers. She had just started the job. She might not have known these people very well. They put her into a cab, and I don't think we can blame the friends. I don't think we can. Bean, even if you drop something in the chute, you'd go find the dumpster, not climb into the chute. Too nasty. Yeah, gross. And if you Google typical trash chute in Manhattan apartment buildings and click images, okay, let's do that. Typical trash chute in Manhattan buildings. Okay, well, here's some photos. Let's take a look. Thanks, Anne. Great suggestion. There's always the Google, right? Yeah, but exactly, Ramon, that place looks newly renovated, so I would assume they've taken measure to avoid getting their pantsuit off, because if a drunk woman can get in, a toddler can pretty much, thus makes it impossible. Hello, Scarlett. You're doing a wonderful job. Lee, even in my 20s as a former gymnast and yoga instructor, it would not have been easy to climb up into a trash chute. Let's take a look at what Google Images has. on this issue. Let us see what we have here. I mean, here's a garbage chute right here in the middle picture. New York City, friends. Is this what a typical garbage chute looks like? How are you getting in there? How about this? Oh, here's a video of a man fatally plunging down a New York City garbage chute as people watch. I mean, here's the chute right here. Look how small that is. Here's another garbage chute here. I mean, these newer high rises, "19-year-old removed from garbage chute." Apparently this happens all the time. How'd she get in the building? Oh, coincidentally, here's a whole story. Interestingly enough, Lara, the woman that we were talking about before, the 48-year-old who fell down the trash chute, that was in the same building where Anthony Weiner and Huma Abedin lived, 1 Irving Place in Union Square. And that was this garbage chute right here. I don't know how a woman is going to get into a building that has a 24-hour doorman and even know where this garbage chute is and why anybody would climb into that thing. It doesn't look like a ladies' room door. If she was looking for a bathroom, here's a trash chute right here. It's a compactor. I mean, I don't care how drunk you are. I don't think you're getting in one of those. How did women get inside the garbage chute? That might have been that Lara's case. I think you have to be stuffed into one of those things. I'm not convinced that this is an accident. I need to know how she got into the building. I need to see some surveillance footage of her coming into the building. It's crazy. McRamble out. And the compactor runs on a schedule usually, so they should be able to tell if she was dead when going down or killed by the compactor. Yeah, and it didn't say that she was crushed. It didn't say that. So it kind of, the wording of the article made it sound like they found her and she was unresponsive. It didn't say that she was crushed. Says, body of New York City woman found in garbage chute. Adidas missing Jaclyn Elmquist. A Minnesota woman who went missing after a work party in Manhattan and was caught on camera stumbling along the sidewalk before she vanished has been identified as the victim found dead in a trash chute of a posh Chelsea building. Foul play is not suspected in the death of Jacqueline Elmquist, the NYPD said Saturday. The 24-year-old's body was discovered Friday afternoon at Plus Art at 540 West 28th Street, cops said. Police saw the missing flyers that were hung in the area about Elmquist's disappearance and put two and two together, the cops said. Video from outside the building shows an unsteady Elmquist heading down the sidewalk before going into the building where her body was later found. At one point in the clip, she appears unsteady on her feet, holding onto a wall, and then turning toward a building before heading back onto the sidewalk. It hasn't been determined if she was intoxicated, but it's a possibility, a police source said. It's being looked at. It's unclear why she entered the seemingly random building. The superintendent of her Brooklyn building was upset to have learned that she had died. He said Elmquist kept to herself and was friendly. She seemed happy, he said. It's sad. No mother is supposed to bury her child. That's no good. No, it's not. Cause and manner of death was pending an autopsy by the city medical examiner. No criminality is suspected. Let's take a look at some still photos of the footage. Let's see if I can enlarge this a little bit. Here's a still shot from outside the building. It doesn't, I don't know why they're blurring her face out if we already know who she is. No coat. Anybody remember what the weather was on Thursday night around 11 p.m.? College graduation photo. NYPD crime scene unit investigating. Missing posters. Thank God that her family went out and hung missing posters at the place where her phone last pinged. Somebody must have had find my family. I have that on my phone for all my kids. I know where everyone is at all times. And that's the last place her phone pinged. And they put the posters up, and that's how the police put two and two together. Otherwise, it might have been a while before they were able to identify her, depending on the condition that she was found. She was found with no wallet, no purse, no phone. And our prayers go out to Jacqueline, Jacqueline's family, Jacqueline's friend, everyone who knew Jacqueline and is missing her today. Tragic, tragic story. Sparkle Plenty, hello. Chutes lead to dumpster. It's manually put into the compactor. Hi, Linda Vergata. How are you? It was pretty warm and not windy on Wednesday night. This was Thursday night, actually. Sorry, did I say Wednesday? It was Thursday night, New York City, around 11 p.m. 11:45 is when they have that video of her walking down the street. She doesn't look like she's wearing a coat. Irene, these stories want to make me drive out of state to go get my girl at university. I know. Ellie, it was nice weather on Thursday, right? Mel Stiller, I agree. No, wait, where am I? Sorry, it's moving quick. People just don't crawl into trash chutes. I don't think so either. I still think Lara was not an accident either. Scott, if there was no criminality suspected, the crime scene people wouldn't be there. They'd send ECT, evidence collection. So do you think that they do think there's criminality and they're just saying that they don't? Yeah, McRamblon, they said she was found in the trash chute, weirdly. Yes, okay. Thank you. That's good info. Oh, okay, you meant Thursday, Linda? Thanks. I thought maybe I said Wednesday because, I misspeak often. Everyone corrects me, so it's okay. I don't know, Debbie Joe. They say she was found in the trash chute. Was she stuck in the chute or did she make it to the dumpster? Well, they say that the porter found her in the basement of the building. So my guess is that she made it down the chute. Right, Bianca? I have so many questions too. Was she in the chute, like stuck in the chute and not in the garbage below? I have so many questions. Oblivious. Protocol in many jurisdictions is to say that until there is criminality suspected. They wouldn't just say the investigation is ongoing? I don't know. Brandy's, it could be an accident. Maybe she didn't drink often and didn't know what she was doing. I don't drink very often and have a very low tolerance. After 2 drinks, I don't remember anything the next day. But how did she get into this random building? She didn't live in the building. She lived in Crown Heights. And she's in Chelsea, walking down a random street after getting out of a cab and somehow gets into this random building with a 24-hour doorman, a live-in super, and really tight security, where it's $5,500 a month to rent a 1-bedroom tiny apartment. So I find it very curious. Beauty Biz Elite 210. They also described it as a gruesome crime scene. I'm sure either falling in or outside the chute would be gruesome. Yeah. OMG, that's one hell of a headline. It's terrible. Martha, in my opinion, I think L.E. should go back to the restaurant bar and talk to the staff there. And she didn't know her coworkers either. I don't think so. I don't think she knew them very well. She had just started the job this month in November, according to her LinkedIn profile. They were at a holiday dinner or maybe their holiday party at a fancy steakhouse in Manhattan, Catch NYC, which is lovely and expensive. And she may not have known them very well. It was a work thing. Sometimes these are like obligations that people have to go to. I'm sure that they're running that down. I'm sure they're running down all the coworkers that were with her. I'm sure they're talking to, if she did go to that bar that her cousin said she was at, what was it called? The Canuck. I'm sure they're talking to staff there. And I'm sure that there has to be surveillance footage at any or all of those places. Hi, Kim. Hudson Yards. Hudson is my maiden name, and Henry Hudson is my cousin. Really? It's on my list to visit all the Hudson places of New York someday. Hudson Yards is beautiful. The High Line is beautiful. It's an elevated kind of boardwalk that you can walk through all the way on the west side of Manhattan near the river. It's lovely. Lots of great shopping, lots of great restaurants. Scott, if you notice not many details have been released, it means PD is investigating something or someone. Well, that's encouraging. That's encouraging. And Mel says adults don't play hide and seek in garbage chutes. Agreed. Sophia, so no further investigation. I don't know. I mean, they're saying no criminality is suspected. There's also a woman, and I was going to do a show on this, and I haven't done it yet, and it's not getting hardly any coverage. Her name is Melissa Mooney. She's a model in Los Angeles. She was found stuffed in her refrigerator and hogtied with her hands behind her back, tied to her ankles behind her back. There have been no arrests in that case. She lived also in a luxury apartment building in downtown LA. It's gone eerily silent, the investigation on that case. They have video surveillance of a guy coming in with using her key fob. I haven't heard anything on that. Has anybody heard anything on that? Or has anybody else been following that case of Melissa Mooney in downtown LA? Mudswallow, I wonder what the toxicity report says. Me too. Carla, yes, isn't that so sad? She was gorgeous. And her sister is a Guyanese pop star of some notoriety. And that case was crazy. Nobody's been arrested in that case. I will cover it. Okay, good. I will cover it. Yeah, I have the autopsy report on that and everything. It's insane. that Melissa Mooney case. And Lisa, she was 5'3", unless this was a ground trash chute, which I've never seen. How do you know she's 5'3"? Did it say that anywhere? Hi, Pierre. The question is, who else lived there? I have questions. I have so many questions. Help me understand this, you guys. Help me understand. Yeah, Bianca, I saw that. Somebody earlier in the chat said law enforcement saying no criminality as to not scare the perp from fleeing the country, the county. Yeah. Each town finest. I heard the LA case is tied to another. No, they actually, the other model that died, there were two models that were killed at the same time, around the same time. I think they arrested somebody in that other case, or they did close one of the cases and they said they are not related. And BB, you haven't heard anything about that until I mentioned it last week. I've kind of been waiting for an arrest on that case. I thought it would come imminently. They have all kinds of surveillance footage on that. Lady Prudence, Crown Heights and Chelsea, neither are safe on a December night on a weekday. Really? That is so sad. Around the world, yes. Why hasn't anyone covered it? My daughter's college dorm is 3 miles away and I have anxiety all the time. Are you talking about Melissa Mooney? Where does your daughter go to school? Is she at USC or UCLA? That is so scary. I mean, downtown LA has really gotten dangerous. People think San Francisco is dangerous. Have you been to downtown LA lately? All these big cities that used to be thriving metropolises that everybody wanted to live in, people are fleeing the cities by the tens of thousands. And now that everyone has figured out that they can work remotely, there's no reason to have to go to an office anymore, really. Yeah, geeking me out. Oh, you're welcome. I did cover that because I was curious if they were related too. I'm thinking she leaned way into the chute open to throw up and lost balance and impaired and unbalanced. Somehow freakily got herself lodged into the chute and struggling went down. Well, hey, if they've got video surveillance showing that, I mean, why not say that? Just so that everybody in the Chelsea area can rest easy that there's not some killer out there dragging women into posh apartment buildings and shoving them into garbage chutes. I'm just saying. Gemma, thank you. You can't fall into it. First, the door to the chute pulls outward at least 2 feet, so you have to get past that part just to enter the opening. Deborah, multi-million-dollar apartments. What is so hard about locks on these things? Seriously, not that difficult. Around the world, I have 3 college kids, one in LA, one in San Fran, and one in Berkeley. All 3 cities seem much more dangerous after COVID. It's awful. Okay, well, my twins, as you know, because I talk about this all the time, my twin daughters are seniors in high school, and we are doing the whole college application thing right now. And one of my daughters is hell-bent on going to California. Hell-bent. And those are 3 of the options that she's looking at. And yeah, it just scares me. I mean, especially after what happened at the University of Idaho, right? And it seems like every single day I have a friend, well, actually, you know, Jess, Mystery Maven, she has a YouTube channel. She's been silent, quiet on YouTube lately, but her daughter goes to UNC Chapel Hill. She's a freshman there. They had 2 school shootings within the first month of classes. And one of them at UNC wasn't even sent out as a blast to the students to lock down or protect themselves or anything, because it was something like teacher on teacher. They didn't consider it to be something dangerous that they needed to notify the student body about. Hey, Mud Swallow, thank you. Your daughter could consider someplace in California like Davis or Merced. She likes Santa Barbara. I'm like, oh, I'm sure you do. I'm sure the tuition for an out-of-state student at UC Santa Barbara is $70,000 a year. They're calling that a state school. Hi, Obi. Tell your daughter to live near Malibu, probably the only safe area. Get ready to spend a lot of money and tell her no downtown LA. No way, young lady. No, we're not doing downtown LA, but you know, Pepperdine is in Malibu, and we did. My other twin and I went out there and went to Pepperdine and did the whole thing. I didn't realize that Pepperdine is LDS. I did not realize that. But also what happened in Pepperdine lately, and I was going to cover this story as well. There were 4 young sorority sisters, everyone's young, that's in college compared to me, but they were standing on a corner. They were Pepperdine students. They were crossing the street. They were about to cross the street on a corner. They were tragically hit and killed by a young kid in a very fancy car doing something like 100 miles an hour and anybody who knows where Pepperdine is in Malibu, there's those very curvy roads on the PCH that are right next to the ocean. It's gorgeous. He was driving. Now he's saying that he was being chased. He hit a parked car or two, and one of the parked cars flipped over and tragically killed those 4 girls. There is no place safe anymore. And that boy was being held on something like $8 million bail. Yes, it is. Pepperdine is LDS. I knew they were private religious school, but I had no idea. Yep, it is LDS, and it is a dry campus. It is a beautiful location. It is up on the hill, overlooking the ocean in Malibu. It is gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. Also one of the most expensive colleges out there, of course. Yeah. No, Miss Scarlett, not all of it, ladies. There are safe places, 100%. I'm just saying it's not like it used to be. It's not like it used to be, right? Everybody wants to live in downtown LA. Everybody wants to live. I mean, if you just go to like Grumman's Chinese Theater, like in that neighborhood, there are some very dangerous areas now. It didn't used to be like that. Peter agrees. New York City has an eerie vibe to it. Lack of foot patrols, homeless and drug use and pros all over. Yes. And ever since the legalization of marijuana, I'm going to say it. And ever since the mayor decided that we should have these, safe areas where people can just shoot up drugs and we're going to give them all needles. And it is scary. There are neighborhoods where there are people shooting up drugs on every corner, and people who live there that have children have to walk by these people every day. And it is scary. And during the lockdowns, it was really scary. I don't know if they're cleaning it up, but it doesn't. Yeah, I mean, it's not the pot, it's the fentanyl. No, but you know what, OB? When you're walking down the street in New York City and it smells like skunk everywhere you go, because it's no longer just like a plant that people are just smoking joints like in the old days. Now it's this like liquid vape stuff. It smells disgusting. The entire city smells disgusting. That's my opinion. Come for me in the comments. But it makes me want to gag. It's gross. You're in the subway, you're in a restaurant, you're anywhere you are, you can smell it. It is rampant. Miss Scarlett, Pepperdine wanted me to go there. I never knew it was anything other than it is Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. It is. This is why Pierre lives in the woods. I can't say that I blame you. See, my brother graduated from UCD Law School and still lives in the Bay Area. I lived there too until I got out of California. Oh, I love California. I would, if I could. My sister lives out there in the South Bay, which is Manhattan Beach, Hermosa, Redondo, maybe Palos Verdes. Like, I love that whole area. And they call it the bubble because you really don't ever need to leave the bubble. And the ocean is at the end of every block. It is just gorgeous. It's just gorgeous, but nobody wants to go to downtown LA anymore. The reason you have to go to downtown LA is if you're going to the courthouse. And a lot of people don't even know where the courthouse is, but that's in downtown LA. Oh, did you live in Manhattan Beach? Oh, every summer. Well, now that my kids go to college, they don't want to go for summers anymore, but I would go out there and always rent a place in Hermosa or Redondo or Manhattan Beach and stay there for the summer. This last summer was the first summer we hadn't done it in about 4 years. During the lockdowns, I couldn't take it anymore. At the end of the summer, we didn't know if school was going to start in person. I said, come on, girls, we're going on a trip. We got on a plane. We went out to Manhattan Beach, stayed with my sister until we found a place to rent. And we stayed out there for a couple of months and we had a little adventure. We tried to make the best of it, but it was rough. And then they started school on Zoom, and my kids had to get up at 4:30 in the morning to get on Zoom in New York. And they only did it, every other day. Like, it was a nightmare. I find it so hard to believe that really happened. I think I'm just trying to block that whole thing out. That whole couldn't leave your house thing. I don't know. Maybe in other parts of the country and the world, it wasn't so bad, but It was pretty bad here. Oh, Rich Huggers, you're from the South Bay. Oh, I love it there so much. It's really my dream place that I would live in a second. And I think once my youngest goes to college, I'm like, out of here. That's where I'm going. It's not LDS, it's Church of Christ. I don't know. That's what it said on their website. Peter's good friend has an acting school in Manhattan Beach, really? Billy Gallo? Oh, that's cool. Thank you, Peter. I was in the Twilight Zone. I still feel like I am. That was like the Twilight Zone. I can't say that C word because I'll be, shadow banned and demonetized under the 7 dirty words that you can't say on YouTube. Let me tell you something. I'll tell you this. I did a show on September 11th because that was the day that Jimmy Burke, former police chief of Suffolk County, went to his first court appearance in Suffolk County after he had been arrested for soliciting a male sex worker in a Vietnam Memorial Park in Suffolk County. He had his pants down. He was, let's say, playing with himself, and he was arrested. I went to court that day, even though it's a very somber day here in New York and through most parts of this country, even though it's been something like 22 years, it still feels like yesterday. I went to court that day. I did a live stream on it that night. At the end of the live stream, Duty Ron and Phil Grimaldi came on, 2 9/11 first responders who were there on the day. We talked about it. We cried. I cut it into a separate video, and I put Reflections of 9/11 as my title of that video, and it was immediately demonetized as being unfriendly because it had, first of all, I didn't monetize it anyway, but I guess it had set it up that way, and then they sent me an email. It's not friendly because it had, allegedly, just because it had the 9/11 in the title. So you can't even talk about it in a benign way without getting stricken on YouTube. Frightening. Okay, Betty, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I read the wrong thing. Maybe I'm remembering the wrong thing. I guess I just didn't know that it was a religious school at all. I thought it was just a private college. I had no idea. All right, I apologize to the LDS Church or to Pepperdine. But they did, on the application for Pepperdine, ask a lot of questions about your faith. And, it's a very faith-based school. I will say that. Allie, thank you. Unbelievable what we went through in Manhattan. 9/11 was horrible. We should be able to talk about it and have it on YouTube, and you shouldn't be penalized for that. It's not right. No, it does make me mad. It makes me mad. No, we can't talk about it. It is demonic. Please go back and watch that video, because you will hear from Duty Ron and from Phil Grimaldi, who were both there, who have both suffered 9/11 related illnesses. And it's a really, really, I cut it out. I made it into its own video. It's only about 20 minutes long, I think. And it's really, really touching. If you don't know Duty Ron and Phil, go follow them both on YouTube. Both retired NYPD homicide detectives who are very smart, very caring, very generous, lovely, lovely guys. Yeah. Thank you, beautiful messy ball. YouTube is the most Orwellian place on the internet. Yeah. Yeah. Same thing happened to me the other night when I was talking about the Maya trial. And here's why. Here's what I think happened. Somebody pointed this out to me. I think they were right. All of the J Hatch minions were probably flagging my video because I was talking about post-trial motions on the Take Care of Maya trial. Kowalski versus Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital. Nothing egregious. I didn't say any of the 7 dirty words that you can't say on YouTube in the first 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 20 minutes. Didn't say any words at all. I used code words. I used K instead of spelling out the drug. And I think that's what happened. I think that the defense firm or hospital have minions that go out and flag all the videos, and they demonetize you for the first 48 hours until somebody actually looks at it and says, there's nothing offensive about this. That is my opinion. I'm sticking to it. Come for me in the comments. I have merch that says that. Oh, I forgot to tag the merch in this video, but I will. The come for me in the comments merch because I am not a cupcake. There's my logo. You can see it right there. I'm not a cupcake. I have a sign to remind me that says you are not a cupcake. You cannot make everyone happy. I am a New York State trial lawyer with 30 years experience in New York State federal courts and state courts. I am also, now that these strikes are over, a working actor and a mother of 5, YouTuber, legal commentator, and analyst. And I have opinions and I'm not afraid to share them. I'm not afraid to talk about the tough topics. So you can come for me in the comments as long as you do it respectfully, and I will respectfully debate with you. And we have differences of opinions all the time, but this is not a neutral channel. People say to me, I get comments all the time, you are not being neutral. Okay, and what? If you are a LawTuber, you're supposed to be neutral? Is that how it works in this wild, wild west of YouTube? Because I just started doing this on my own channel in June, less than 5 months ago. And I'm going to say what I want to say. And my cupcakes, who are my members, Melanie's Little Cupcakes, they like it. We like it here. If you don't like it here, you don't have to watch it. You can go watch some slideshow with a robot voice narrating it for you, if that's your thing. But you don't need to stop and leave a nasty comment. Some of the comments that people leave are just so beyond. Like the things that they choose to pick on. Amber, hi Amber. No, I don't. I can't say. I can't say. But I had a great audition the other day. The first audition since the strikes were over on a new show that everything is so like NDA, like you can't talk about it. But I was notified by my agent that they sent me to producers, which means they take the top 3 auditions, send them directly to the actual producers. And this producer is a really big deal. Like he has had a million series. So cross your fingers for me. And it's pretty awesome because there are so many shows filming in New York that it's not like you don't have to live in California anymore to be on TV or in the movies. So cross your fingers for me. Be a cupcake or be mincemeat. Oh man, Paul, can we use that on a t-shirt? I like it. I like it. Hi, Maureen. Neutrality is highly overrated. I think you're great. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I think that we're creating a really nice community here. Very kind. I think that the Take Care of Maya trial brought in a whole new stream of viewers that found a safe place here that are either suffering with CRPS or some other chronic pain-related diseases that were very difficult to diagnose, and they were really not comfortable in other streams talking about their condition and explaining their condition. And I think that because my moderators are so amazing, I'm going to say it again, you guys, because you really, really are. They found a safe place here. And I really like this community that we're building. And we just don't tolerate the BS and the bullies. And, like I watched some other coverage when I was watching the Maya trial on Law and Crime before I discovered Recovery Addict. I could not believe what was going on in that chat and how people were attacking each other and how nasty it was. It just felt like I needed a shower after I saw that. Oof. Aaron says, I'm your huckleberry and your cupcake if you want. Awesome, Aaron. Awesome. I'll take it. Lita Legalese, you always come in with the good stuff. Sometimes trying to force neutrality makes the person seem biased. Some things can't be ignored, like the defense's arrogance. Yeah, in that case. And you know what? I am not always pro-plaintiff, even though I was a plaintiff's attorney. I am not always pro-defense or prosecution. My opinion changes with the case. If there's no evidence against a defendant, I'm going to say it. If I don't think they can prove a case, if I think their case is weak. And if I think it's a slam dunk, I'm going to say it. And in a case like Maya's, I thought what they did was egregious. But when I went over the post-trial motions, I did tell my viewers where I thought the defense may prevail in some of those motions and where some of the verdicts, some of the dollar amounts may be reduced or overturned. I'm not going to lie to you, but it's going to shift. We could be on Days of Our Lives. I don't know. They film all the soap operas in California now. They took them all out of New York. And Tina, I want to be an actor, but I lack that. Take classes. I took acting classes. I wanted to be an actor when I was a kid. And that's how I met Bill Cannon from Police Off the Cuff, is we met in acting class in New York City. He was doing stand-up comedy before his YouTube channel. And I wanted to be an actress because my soul got sucked out of me from doing litigation against the Catholic Church. And that's how we met. And then he started his YouTube channel, and here we are all these years later. Funny story. Thank you, Marie, for your super sticker. Here is my email. Thank you, Patroness Glow, for popping that in there. Anybody can email me with show ideas or comments or documents. We had Jules in the chat from the Maya trial the other day, and she has sent me several documents, which was amazing. And you guys always send me ideas and pictures, and I love it. I always read your emails. I don't always get a chance to respond because, as you can imagine, I have thousands of emails, and I try to read them, but I don't always get to read them. Oh, but there is something that I want to pull up because somebody sent me a picture that was so cute that I'm going to show it to you. I don't think Stacy will mind. Stacy, I don't know if you're here tonight, but you said I could publish your picture, so I'm going to do that. Give me 1 second. Okay. She said her pups love watching me on YouTube. And then she sent me this picture. Oh, how cute is that? There's me on TV, and there's her rescue pup watching me on TV. And I thought that was so cute. So cute. I just love it. So thank you, Stacy. You made my day with that picture. I thought it was adorable. P.S. My dogs love watching. She said, this is my rescue pup. This is my sweet rescue special needs dog. Her name is Halo, and she loves to watch TV. So does my dog, Sophie. And she sent me that picture. So thank you, Stacy. I don't know if you're here tonight, but that was totes adorbs, as the kids say. Totes adorbs. Thank you, Sophia, for your super chat. So no further investigation. I think they're investigating it. According to my retired law enforcement friends and moderators in the chat, they say that perhaps they're just saying there's no criminality involved to either, assuage the public, or because they do not want the perp that they have in their sights to take off. Hopefully. I certainly hope they're still doing it. Thank you, Marie. Oh, Maggie May became a new member. Yay. Congratulations. I think you're going to like it here. Choosy heretics, choose Carnation Revolution now. Honestly, I'm very encouraged by the indicators and the different types of chats all coming together. This may be the long-awaited week. I don't know what you mean by that. What do you mean? You mean you think it's about time everybody gets along and everyone's just going to get along? TJ, I'm a dog and cat sitter. Love it. Yay. Yay, Maggie May, welcome. Wow, gal, we'll have to check all the movies you were in. A lot of them you can't find because they're independent films that never made it to the inside of a theater, but a lot of them have been to film festivals and stuff. I did a couple of Discovery ID shows where I played the wife of a serial killer. And I played, I was in Ocean's 8, but if you blink, you might miss me sitting in the crowd as a VIP at the fashion show. But that was really cool because Ocean's 8 was filmed, this particular scene that I did, and I met Helena Bonham Carter in the ladies' room, and Kate Blanchett was in the scene, and Sandra Bullock, and that was like really cool just to be in the same room with them. But we filmed that scene of the fashion show, if anybody remembers that movie, Ocean's 8, at the new or old, it's like the retro TWA terminal at JFK. So cool. Such a cool building. Before they made a hotel in there, they used it as a movie set, and they filmed a lot of movies there. Any more on the James Brooker arrest, or did you discuss that already? No, he was supposed to have a court date on Friday. It was adjourned. Every time I track it in the court file, in the court, I get emails about it. Nothing has happened yet. So I don't know. I mean, I have a feeling it's all just going to be dismissed, just like, everything else that goes on. What is this strange stuff in my background? Well, that right there is a neon Colorado Buffs thing, because I went to Colorado, I went to see you. I'm a big Buffs fan, and now we have Deion Sanders as our coach, although the season did not end off very well. It started off pretty well, but did not end off pretty well. I don't know, there's some flowers. There's like a VW bus over here with some Christmas lights on it, some flowers and some posters. There's that one in the middle is Dave Matthews tour poster from the shows I just went to, and the one next to it, that's from the Dead and Company shows at the Forum from this year. John Mayer. So I rotate my posters in and out, but thanks for asking. I don't find it strange. I like it. What else you got? What else you got, you guys? I was on, hi Susan. I was on Evil Lives Here. I was on another show called, I don't remember the name of it. If you go, the link to my IMDb page is in the channel description, or actually probably in the video description. It's one of my socials that I put on there. So you can go on there and you can check all the stuff out. Oh, you did, Mystery? You grew up in Boulder? Oh, in Denver. I went to Denver to go to law school. I went to DU Law because I did not want to leave Boulder. So I thought, what can I do to stay in Boulder longer? I know, I'll go to law school. I always wanted to be an actor anyway. So I went to law school because that way I could write my own script and I could never be told I didn't get the part. I wouldn't have to audition. And it was, I think a lot of lawyers are frustrated actors, really. Oh, thanks, Joanne, for gifting a membership. If you opt into gifts, you can receive memberships. If people gift memberships, they are given randomly to people that are participating in the chat. And that was very nice of you. Thank you so much. We're going to do another members only live soon. So you guys, if you want to, let me know what you want to talk about. Usually it's like a Q&A. We kind of go through a lot of different topics. And I like to, just like switch it on to Glide and just see where we go with the conversation. We don't have to plan anything. We can just chat. Uncle Louis spent some little loose cannon cupcakes. That's cute. Cute. Cheesy heretics. Medical examiners and coroners are historically likely to be corrupt in the USA. Notice a bit of question mark on. I don't know, but we have questions. We have questions about a lot of. We have questions about Stephen Smith, whose death in the Low Country of South Carolina was deemed to be a hit and run car accident during the Murdoch situation. And a lot of people had thought the Murdochs were involved in that. Stephen Smith was an openly gay young man in the Low Country of South Carolina who was tragically killed many years ago. I can't remember the date off the top of my head, but that was ruled an accident. A lot of people thought that medical examiner was told what to say. I think they came out again and said that they're still calling it an accident, that he was hit with something. Yeah, I do too, Allie. Thank you. I really hope that they find out who did that to him. Such a sad story. I know. Quite conundrum. There was a recent autopsy done that just came out that they're saying that he was hit with a mirror or something off the side of a truck, that there's a fracture line. They have a foam skull and they show exactly where the fracture line is. And they do not think that he was dumped there. They think it happened right there based on the blood pattern. So I do not know, but we are armchair detectives. And since this is not a law enforcement channel and I'm just a lawyer and a true crime fan, we can talk about our theories. It is, I know, so sad. Yay. Nick Ramelon, the coroner system is totally effed and needs to be outlawed in most places because not necessary. Yeah, the coroner is not, at least it was not, the elected positions in a lot of places. And the person who is the coroner comes to the scene and oftentimes does not have a background in medicine. They're funeral home directors or other things that really have nothing to do with the practice of medicine. They're not doctors, that's for sure. Well, Mom, you're across the river from the Low Country in Savannah. Yeah, those Murdochs ruled that place for 100 years. 100 years. And I do think that Alec Murdoch is going to get a new trial based on all of that jury tampering, alleged jury tampering by Becky Hill, the court clerk who wrote the book and actually actually maybe innocent until proven guilty, actually maybe might have tampered with that jury in the Murdoch case. And that's a big problem. Unlike poor juror number 1, who's being accused of misconduct in the Maya Kowalski case, who actually did nothing. So that's crazy. Has more come out about Miss Becky? I think they're going to have a hearing. So we'll see what happens with that. But everything that we've seen. I did a show on that a while ago. I guess we need to catch up on that at some point soon. Leave some comments. Tell me what else you guys want to cover. John Marvin and Randolph were both there before even the parents got the news. Then he was offered free attorney. Yes, that is true. Randy said to Mrs. Smith, Sandy Smith, he said, we will represent you pro bono because we want to help you find out who did this. Why don't you give us Stephen's phone? Sus as to why the Murdochs were at the Stephen Smith scene at all. Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, McGramblon, go back and watch my show on it. I think it has a red thumbnail and it says, WTF, will Murdoch get a new trial? And I went through the whole entire thing, the motion papers, everything. I find it fascinating. It didn't get a ton of views, so I guess a lot of people don't really care about that Murdoch case, but that was what really got me into this. That's what got me into this, was the Murdoch case. And I said to Bill Cannon, police off the cuff, I said, Bill, I know you have a YouTube channel and I'm so fascinated with this Murdoch case. Do you want a lawyer's opinion on it? And he's like, sure, come on. And that's how I got started over here in the wild world of YouTube. So I didn't come in through the LawTuber side. I came in through the law enforcement side. And that's why I'm not part of that whole clique of LawTube. They don't want me. So I'm okay with that. You are so much fun. Kimberly says it's so easy to watch. You tell it like it is. I try. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to tell you what I think. Oh, yeah, that's what's coming up, too. Chad Daybell. The Chad Daybell trial is coming up, and the judge is allowing cameras in the courtroom, so I want to cover that. Do you guys want to hear that? What do you think, guys? Chad Daybell, we're going to do that trial. That is going to be crazy. LawTube, I know, Dominique, that's what they call it. They call it LawTube. I don't know. I mean, I knew about Emily from the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard thing because my sister was watching Emily. She's like, you have to watch this lawyer. She's so amazing. She's got purple hair and she talks about the Johnny Depp and she was addicted to it. She's like, you should do that. I'm like, I don't want. Who's going to want to listen to what I have to say? I don't. And then here I am, all these years later. But yeah, they call it LawTube. Who knew? Thank you, Truth Seeker. That you're really glad I started my own channel. Thank you. Genie saw that episode with Bill Cannon. All right, well, you're an OG then. You are an OG. That was like the first time that I came on. Everybody hit the thumbs up, please. Please hit the thumbs up. We've got 746 people in here, so I don't know how many thumbs up we have right now, but, it would be good to match the number of viewers with the number of thumbs. You want to watch Chad Daybell? Me too. Let's do it. That's one that I could cover, We could watch it all day. Yes, Patriots Glow. Yes. What's great is that it's Idaho, right? So it's like 2 hours earlier for me, so I don't have to get up so early. I love that. Yes, Daybell is absolutely a malignant narcissist of the absolutely worst kind. Yes, Mel, I want to watch it too. And it's going to be so interesting because in the Lori Vallow case, they did not allow the cameras in. They allowed, I think it was audio only, and I think they only released it at the end of the day. So you couldn't listen to it in real time the way we could listen to the very, very tragic, sincere and classic case out of Bakersfield, California, Trezell and Jacqueline West. That was live stream only audio. So we could listen to that case. So in the Daybell, in the Lori Vallow trial, do you remember that the prosecutors blamed everything on, wait, let me see if I get this right. The prosecutors said that Lori was the ringleader of this whole unalivings, that she was the ringleader. So now there's been some arguments and Chad Daybell's attorney, by the way, was in the courtroom every single day for the Lori Vallow trial, and good on him. That's exactly what he should do. Because he needs to be there. He needs to see how they're presenting this case so that he can argue the same things for his client. So he's arguing now that because the prosecution said that Lori Vallow was the ringleader during Lori Vallow's trial, they can't now change their strategy and say that Chad Daybell was the ringleader because they've already used the strategy that they should have to use. It's a very, very interesting legal argument. So I am very interested in that. Yes, they are, Valmom. They're gonna need a better camera than they used at the hearing last week. It was terrible. You know, they don't want to allow the media in. And although I hated everything that Law and Crime in Court TV did during the Maya trial by focusing on Maya every single time instead of the attorneys that were making the arguments, I do think they need a better system. At least, you know, let somebody run the camera and run the sound, because it needs to be better. Do I think I have to be friends with Emily? No, I would love to be friends with Emily because you know what? She loves Dave Matthews. I love Dave Matthews. I think we would be great friends. She's a lot younger than I am, but I think we get along great. Oh, hello. Look who it is. It's Mike King. Mike King in the chat of Profiling Evil. We did a great show together when he came on my show. And we did a show, when Blaze Thibodeau was missing, when his doomsday cult mom and her brother, and they kidnapped him and took him to Alaska because they thought that he was a Davidian servant and he was the next prophet. And Mike King is amazing. Yep. Mike King is amazing. Hello. Mike King. Everybody loves Mike King. And if you don't know who Mike King is, go subscribe to his channel. It's at Profiling Evil. He is amazing and he's so kind and he's so generous and he does so many things for charity and other things. And he not only is he a great YouTuber, but he's also like a really great guy. Like a really great guy. What is the update on what case? What case? Oh, Blaze Thibodeau. I haven't heard anything. It's been radio silence on that, right? Oh, Karen, you must be catching up. You must be catching up on the tragic case of Jaclyn Elmquist, who was found in a trash chute in a New York City building in which she did not live. And Karen says, getting the vibe, it could be she was very out of it, given drugs, maybe was taken to a party there and used and thrown out. It happened before a case in LA. I don't know. Oh, really? Is that true, Debbie Jo? My name and love of DMB came up in one of her streams. Wow. That's cool. I don't think she knows who I am, but I mean, it'd be cool. She rarely has people on her channel, just like I rarely do. But when I do, they're the best, like Mike King and Oblivious Benson and Duty Ron. But it would be cool. I think it would be cool to have a couple of women lawyers do something together because I don't think we would be mean to each other. Like, you know what else I love is I like Natalie and I like Emily. And I think that would be cool. Like 3 women like giving opinions without like being mean to each other. Like, wouldn't that be fun? So anybody knows either of them, I mean, I'd totally be into that. Hello, Alita. You'll be tuning in on 12/6 to Dr. Goodhair's interview with attorney Whitney. We should all go over there unless you had a show plan. No, he actually reached out to me, Dr. Joe Corcoran, for those of you who don't know. And we email all the time and we talk all the time. And he, I know that he is doing a show on Tuesday night with Nick Whitney, and I will absolutely be in the chat. I will be watching 100%. And I suggest that everyone else watch too and subscribe to Dr. Corcoran's channel. He is, I think he's at CMO Dr. Joe on YouTube. He just started a new channel and his channel blew up in 2 days. I think however long it is. I think he's got 8,000 subscribers already. And look, every subscriber is hard to get. This is not like building a YouTube channel takes a long time. If you are not subscribed, by the way, let me bring this up. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. It helps the YouTube algorithm. It doesn't cost anything. You just have to hit that little button below. And then if you hit the notification bell and you hit all notifications, you will never miss a thing. You don't want to miss a thing because we have a lot of fun here, don't we? My peeps, my cupcakes. Don't we have fun here? Yes, Emily and Natalie are both wonderful. They both seem very kind. They don't seem to be mean. Run the world. Thank you so much for your super sticker chat. Gotta go. Great way to end the weekend. Hope to see you tomorrow. Ciao. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's really good to see you. I know you've been out of it for a little while. You haven't been around for a little while, so I'm glad that you're back. I know that you're an OG too. So you have been here since the absolute very beginning. And Marie, congratulations. I think you got the gifted membership. Yay for you. It's fun. We have a lot of fun here. It's kind. We don't fall into the mean stuff. We don't do the mean stuff. Yeah. Dr. Corcoran has been nicknamed Dr. Good here. Yes, we do have fun, Mel. Another Mel. The Mels are the best. Jean Sullivan. What is on my YouTube agenda for this week? You never know. No, Deborah, it was not her building. It was an unknown building. She lives in Crown Heights, Brooklyn. If you rewind, you'll see the map of her route that she took, and she was nowhere near where she lived. And there's some hidden footage, surveillance camera footage of her walking unsteadily down the block. How she got into this building, we will never know. YouTube agenda for the week. Well, let's see. Tuesday, we're going to watch Dr. Corcoran. That's why you want to hit the notification bell for me, because I don't really have a schedule, and I usually try to schedule at least an hour in advance, because then you'll get a notification if a half an hour before. And well, we're going to cover, as soon as they respond to the Maya post-trial motion, we're going to cover that, the plaintiff's response. I don't know when that's going to happen. We could do Melissa Mooney this week. Tell me what, I'm here for you. Whatever you guys want to cover. Sometimes there's breaking news like this today. So I threw this together in a couple of hours. When I saw this morning, I was like, I have to do a show on this. And here we are. And this is crazy, this case. Thank you, M. Bucky, for loving my channel. I love that you love my channel. That's awesome. His channel, oh, Dr. Corcoran, with very few videos. So glad the YouTube community is growing with exceptional creators. Yeah. Well, I want to turn YouTube into a nice place. It seemed like a very mean place from what I know. The only time I ever came to YouTube, honestly, before I started my channel or went on, Duty Ron, which I co-hosted with Duty Ron probably 50 times when Ed Wallace was away at an undisclosed location. And Police Off the Cuff. The only reason I would watch YouTube is for music videos or concerts. I would find live concerts of people that I love, like the Grateful Dead and Dave Matthews and Counting Crows. And I watched concerts on YouTube, and I'd put it on the TV and I'd crank it up loud. And there's a creator, I know Jason Smith is here. There's a creator on YouTube who does some amazing things with old Grateful Dead concerts from the 90s and 80s. And he has somehow remastered the video into looking like it was taken yesterday. It's like in 4K. It's crazy. So I used to come here just for music. I didn't know anything about Ruby Frankie and all these weird mommy vlogger channels where people were exploiting their children. I didn't really watch any shows, but now that I'm into it, I can see how people can never watch TV again, because you can just get sucked into YouTube, and watching a show on YouTube is like hanging out with a friend. And you feel that way. You feel like you know people, and when you're watching their shows, I have that too. I have people that I watch and I feel like, oh, I can, hang out with my friends now for an hour and a half. So I can understand it. Now I get it. I'm getting it. I'm here for it. Chad's trial starts in April. Oh, we have to wait a long time for that, huh? It feels like a nice Howard Stern. That's cute. Who or what is 59 cents? I haven't watched TV in a year now, says Debbie Jo. Wow. Ann says, I haven't turned on my TV for literally years. Wow. Mel says, one day when my own YouTube channel is ready to be launched, I will not be talking about true crime. I leave true crime to... All right, what are you going to talk about, Mel? Come on, you can build your audience right here. We're here for it. What do you want to talk about? Hi, Patricia. Thank you. I like watching your channel because you explore women who have been unalived. I've been watching since RH was arrested for the Gilgo Beach cases. I've been following lists since reading Lost Girls. Yes. I've been living, because I live on Long Island. And this is where I've been practicing law since I became an attorney. Because although I went to law school in Denver, I grew up in New York, and I came back here and I took the New York bar, and this has been my backyard. And when Karen Vergata's legs washed up on Fire Island in 1996, I had 2 little children, and those were our beaches. And so we have been living with these dismemberments and these girls going missing and these bodies being found all along the South Shore where our ocean beaches are. And we have been living with this for a very long time, and it's very personal to me. So thank you for appreciating that coverage. Again, tonight, our prayers and thoughts go out to the family of Jaclyn Elmquist, who was tragically found deceased in the trash chute of a luxury condo building in Chelsea. Mysteriously, the police are saying that there is no criminality involved. We went over the case at length today. We disagree. Hopefully, they are going to figure out what happened to her, and her family, who is from Minnesota, is going to get some answers. And we pray for you. Rest in peace, Jaclyn. I'm devastated as a mother, as a human. This should not happen to anyone, especially not anyone's daughter. Incredibly tragic. Thank you to all of my moderators for hanging in there with me and for doing the job faithfully and thanklessly, as you often do. I love you guys. To my channel members, my little cupcakes, thank you so much for believing in me and even wanting to be a member of my channel. To all of my viewers, my replay viewers, you guys are awesome. Please subscribe, hit the bell, hit the like. It helps the algorithm. Share the videos out because we need to spread some awareness. If anybody knows anything or has any information about Jaclyn Elmquist's disappearance, where she was that night, any witnesses, please come forward and contact the NYPD so that we can get some answers as to what happened to her and her family can get some sort of closure, even though I don't think you ever, ever, ever recover from the loss of a child. I can't imagine that that anybody would. So just remember, be cool, be kind, be classy. It's really not that hard. Love you guys, and I will see you really soon. Peace out.